isn't a vacation, it's a quarantine.
We're the only people around here.
Sick is a 2022 slasher horror movie, directed by John Hyams and written by Kevin Williamson and Catelyn Crabb. It stars Gideon Adlon, Beth Million, and Dylan Sprayberry. It's produced by Blumhouse and just recently went straight to Peacock. While quarantining at her family's cabin during the pandemic, Parker and her best friend are threatened by an unexpected visitor.
This is incredible. Sick.
And it's all ours. The only neighbor is miles away.
So I just finished streaming this on Peacock, and I'm really late to the party. I should have released a review a week or so ago. But to be completely transparent, I saw the trailer and it just did not look good to me. I was like, alright, whatever. It looked like it was going to delve into the politics surrounding the pandemic, and it looked cringy as well, especially the trailer, like this final scene where this woman won't let the girl in because she's not wearing a mask in her car to save her life. And I was just like, come on. It just looked campy and cheesy. And so honestly, I just skipped it. But then I heard a bunch of you guys saying, hey, you need to review this. You need to check it out. Hey, have you checked out Sick yet? And I was just like, you know what? Fine. I'm going to check it out. And I have mixed feelings on it because in some regards, this is a really well done slasher. It's well written with a pretty simple setup, yet you actually really kind of feel for these characters and find yourself liking them and rooting for them even after just this short period of time of knowing them, which just really goes to show how good of a writer Kevin Williamson is. If you're not familiar with who that is, that's the guy who wrote most of the Scream movies, as well as a bunch of other slasher young adult movies that are all really fun and well done. So he's got this huge pedigree, which is why I even paid attention at all to this movie and even watched the trailer in the first place, because it just wasn't promoted. It was really off the radar until people started talking about it. But it's so well shot and directed. It really is a well polished, well put together little movie. In a lot of ways, it is formulaic, and you are going to see a lot of the same stuff. It's not reinventing the wheel, so to speak, of slashers. I mean, it really is just a slasher. But it does have a few things, especially in the final act, that right after watching it, I was really like, I don't know. But the more I thought about it, the more I kind of unpacked it and realized, and this is tricky because I don't want to spoil it. That's just not what I do on this channel. I don't spoil movies. And so I'm going to try to dance around this without giving anything away. But the final act especially really kind of takes a twist, and it ends up being kind of a different movie than you're expecting. And when this whole movie, you're kind of thinking it's being framed from this one point of view that is a little bit pandemic political related, you're thinking you're seeing it from this one perspective, and then it kind of flips things towards the end, and you kind of get a bigger picture of everything that's going on and the setup and everybody you think you know, and the characters and what you think they're all about, and who the good guy is, who the bad guy is, and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of twists things around until you start to question who even is the villain here. And even when the movie, the credits rolled, I was still pondering that. And the more I thought about it, just the more I appreciated what was done here. And I think the script alone, especially after you watch the whole thing and you kind of think about it and look back on it, you realize, and at least for me, I was able to really appreciate what was done here. And I mean, like I said, it looks absolutely gorgeous. The acting is solid, the special effects are solid, except for there are a few moments that it did take me out just a little, with some CGI blood and some CGI fire at times, just some stuff that I was like, oh, I wish it went practical there. But for the most part, things are practically done, and there's this ferocity, this vicious nature about the way this is shot, and just the violence in general that feels very like bam, like you're getting hit in the face with this level of intensity. And I really appreciated that too. It's just, as far as a slasher goes, it's not reinventing the wheel, it's not this groundbreaking kind of thing, but as far as a slasher goes, this is one of the better ones I've seen in recent memory. And especially if you take into account the story and what is being told here, and a few of these weird little trippy twists that do kind of separate it from a lot of the other slashers. My only real negative and gripe about it is just, I'm really tired of hearing about everything to do with the pandemic. I'm really tired of hearing about the politics and who is on the right side and if you should get vaccinated or if you shouldn't, and just all of that. I personally am at a point where I'm like, just do you, make a decision based on what your experiences are and what your life is, and I'm either way, like, I'm not going to argue what you should or shouldn't do. And this movie does delve pretty heavy into that, which is kind of the point, especially when you see it, the final act, you do realize, like, this is really the whole point of the movie, and it's the thing that does give it a unique flair and style to it. So you gotta kind of take the good with the bad. So even though it did make me cringe at times, and I was just like, I'm tired of this world because I lived through it, it's kind of too fresh in me, and this almost feels like a story that might have done better if it had been told a few years from now. I think, at least for me personally, it's still a little too fresh, and because of that, it was a little bit more annoying on that level. But at the same time, this is still a slasher that does have blood, that does have violence, that does have killing. So it's not like it just only dwells on that. So I don't want you to get me wrong. Either way, I think this is an entertaining, pretty well done slasher, which really surprised me because I did not expect to enjoy this, did not expect to be recommending it. And I actually do, especially if you have Peacock. But if you don't have Peacock, for $4.99 a month, I think it's worth it right now because there's a bunch of other things besides Sick on there. For one, they just added Violent Night, which I did a review on if you want to go check that out. And it is a Christmassy kind of movie, but it's such a fun movie that I think you would have fun with it at any point in the year you watch it. But there's just a bunch of things on Peacock. So I think if you look at it like you're just going to rent this movie for $4.99, and then you also get a whole month's worth of other content on there, I think it's worthwhile. So to sum it up, I had fun with it, and I do recommend you guys give it a look. But I want to give a huge, massive, enormous thank you to the Ghost Pirate Army over on Patreon, because you guys, your support matters and means so much to me. And you guys are growing all the time. It's just awesome. And if you would like to find out how you can support this channel and how you can get involved in the Ghost Pirate Army, there's a link down in the description. And like always, thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button. And remember, guys, horror can be fun. And if you enjoyed this, click right here to watch my Skinamarink review. And I'll see you guys next time.